welcome. Before we do another thing, y'all need to subscribe. Okay? Everybody says I don't remind them, so please subscribe. There will be more songs coming, but I'm still going to do my regular show. Our title today is That the Way It Should Start? And that is in response to what I like to call the poisoning you guys are doing of your own minds. The plan is simple. The plan makes sense. The plan saves money for things that might get older and have to be paid next year, and the year after, and the year after that. It allows for space for Marlies who won the championship to come up and play for us. And it allows for our draft and our ability to sign people to address the Marlies who will be leaving to become part of our team or who could be used for minor movements. But all we're talking about is John Tavares. Okay, I'm going to read you the Shakespeare quote because I believe this poison is the proverbial dagger of the mind. And this is from Macbeth, or as people in theaters and superstitious crazy people like to say, the Scottish play. But give me a theater, I'll go in there and say Macbeth 250 times. Or 251, just so there's no chance 250 is lucky. Okay. In Macbeth, Macbeth is looking to kill the king. And he is searching around for something to do it with. At this point, Macbeth is already pretty crazy, okay? And he thinks that perhaps what he sees to be the weapon to do this with may not actually really exist. And he starts to question his own sanity. And he says, "Art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain?" Now, he's not talking about heat. It's not hot. It's Scotland. It's not hot. He's talking about all the furious things that are going on and how he wants to imagine that he's so close to his goal of killing the king that this thing, he's not even sure it's a real dagger. But as he starts to think about it, he starts to realize that if he assumes it's the dagger and he goes to reach for it, it's not there, he's going to have fully proved to himself he's crazy. Now, this is what's happening with John Tavares. You guys, it's a dagger in the mind. It's not only not the right thing for our team. I have, previous to the last couple of days, no problem with John Tavares. He did nothing to me. He hasn't upset me. But he's obviously upset you all to the point where you can't think straight. Despite the stats, despite his vast shortcomings as a player, I mean vast, okay? You just have to read his stats and then look at the other press you see in the Long Island press, and you will see John Tavares is not a savior. He can't win games by himself, and hockey isn't done that way anyway. Okay, you can't get one player like you can in the NBA. So this has really got to stop. Okay? Stop saying, oh, we'll give up everything. William Nylander, for instance, the one person I always hear said, we don't need him. We can let him go. First of all, we've already been told by Kyle Dubas, God bless Kyle Dubas, that he's already been in touch with Nylander's people. There's no hurry. They're working on it. No problem. Going to be no problem. Okay? That's how it's going with Bozak as well. They haven't said word one about JVR. And I say if you're going to go out and spend the proposed $11 million a year, you're only going to get the points. He's going to get less points, Tavares, because he's not going to play 23 minutes. Mike's not going to let that happen. Austin Matthews will leave, so remember, he not only needs his own offense, Tavares, but he needs to also create double that, at least, to make up for Austin being gone. There's no real reason to keep a player like Mitch. He's not going to be that useful to Tavares. You really aren't thinking this through. And you're really not understanding the damn blueprint. And do you think this is about some, Mary, hello Mary, she walked in today and after some discussion called me Shanahan's minion. Do not laugh, it's not funny. I am not Shanahan's minion. If Shanahan had made one mistake, if he makes one mistake, he's going to make my day, okay? I will be glorified. I will have a YouTube career on how cruel, in a very humorous and very delightful, sinfully have to have it way, tearing him to bits, okay? So, if you want me to torture Shanahan, then you will root for the same things you're rooting for. But I don't believe any of you understand that this plan is something I went and set out to try to prove was crazy business. And I haven't once been wrong since I've been following the plan in what they would do, including the draft. Yes, I didn't know the players' names, but I knew what they were looking for. And we got it. We have to backfill Marley's. It's that simple, okay? No other question about it. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about John anymore. Mary has been watching the YouTube series, The Leaf, Blueprint. It doesn't say colon, there's actual 2 dots, one on top of it. The Leaf Blueprint. Okay, it's on YouTube. You all can watch it. And it lays out the plan. The plan is about people. The plan isn't about numbers in a book, although those have to be considered. The plan is about changing this fan base, changing Toronto's culture, changing the culture of the Toronto Maple Leafs, changing what the object is. You guys, for years, you've been sitting there. You've been told by bad management that they were trying to win when they didn't have a flipping clue how to win. So if you felt they were doing everything you told them to do, well, they probably were, because the one way you keep your job a few weeks longer is by not having the fans cry for your removal. But very frankly, these guys, they don't care what you think. I care what you think. So let's have an honest God discussion. Give me some evidence for what you're saying, because everybody says, you're crazy, Don. You're just Shanahan, just love Shanahan. Apologist for the blueprint. Apologist. That's not who I am. I'm dangerously independent. Don't ever forget that. Free people are the most dangerous people on the face of the earth. We owe nothing to anyone. We don't let anyone else dictate who we are. So for me to be this sold on this blueprint working, you got to know 2 things. I love my damn hockey team, and I want them to win. And this plan is like perfect. Okay, I think we're going to take some questions from Mary, who's been checking that blueprint out. Got questions, Mary?
I had a quote from Babcock that I really liked that I mentioned to you. Immediate gratification is not the National Hockey League. And you said that statements like this make some fans hate him, so I wanted to know why.
Well, they want a stairway to heaven. They want, and by the way, people, that's not a good thing. They want to say, well, we constructed something on the object of achieving something, and, we got to get there fast. We're almost there. Get a player. Let's do it. Let's close. You know what? You want your candy, and you want it now. But do you never want to have candy again? And remember, stairways to heaven are just promises. They're not real. Players aren't car parts, guys. And if they were car parts, you don't go out and get a carburetor so expensive you have to sell the car to pay for it. Because then guess what? You need a carburetor. Okay? And it's that simple. You all think it's a part. You take it off the shelf, plug it in, it works this way. No, that's not how it works. And the idea that you believe this is because the previous decades of management wanted you to be stupid. And look at what you're doing. Somebody tells me I'm too stupid to be a Maple Leaf fan. Honest to God, you gotta see the irony in that statement. Okay? There's nobody as stupid as the previous management. No one. I'm sorry. And by the way, just for the record, for polite conversation on the internet, ideas are stupid. Opinions are stupid. People aren't stupid. You don't go, you're so stupid because I disagree with you. How the hell are we ever going to get along? Okay? I'm not a peacenik. I don't like peace. Every time you get peace, you give up freedom. However, you don't have to make war. And I just can't believe how people go, that guy's such a shithead, I hate him and want him dead. Are we not really understanding what we're saying when we say two wrongs make a right? These are the kinds of thoughts that the blueprint takes down and says, yeah, you believe that, but it doesn't work that way. Mike is amazing. I love Mike.
I had one more question about him. One of the quotes under one of the videos said that Babcock's the most overpaid coach in hockey. I was wondering what you think about that.
Well, okay, let's talk about first the fact that Mike Babcock has taken 10 groups of individual people that he had access to for no more than 6 months, made them into teams that won at the international level. Okay, you can't overpay that. I'm living in Detroit. I know what it was like when he was here, and I know the level of play. Yes, they won one Stanley Cup, but he also didn't get the team he wanted here. He tried, but, you know how it goes. Bad management has their own ideas about things. Mike is an integral part of this plan. And he's being asked to do more than any other coach in the National Hockey League. Maybe not Gerard Gallant, but look at the rewards for being Gerard Gallant if you're right. To be Mike Babcock, to come to Toronto, to listen to all of you say, not only he's overpaid, but he doesn't know how to coach. Because players don't get where a coach needs them to be does not mean the coach is bad. Man, I wish Bear Bryant was still alive. I'd bring him up in here and show you people a few things. Because that is my other fascination. If you've heard me talk about football, the Alabama Crimson Tide, another institution of excellence like the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it's time we lived up to our name. Because when Nick Saban got to Alabama, he's done nothing but succeed. And everybody thinks he's overpaid too. But 8 national championships later, I'm thinking no. Because we're always going to compete. We're going to have bragging rights over everyone forever. What else do you want? Is there enough that you can give to people for that? And I know y'all say Tavares wants to come here to win, but if Tavares comes here, we ain't winning. The team will have to be built around a slower, less mobile, totally not physical, and cannot carry the puck from one end to the other, period. You're going to pay that guy $11 million, or as the Toronto Sun suggests, $16 million? Don't tell me Babcock's overpaid. I mean, you'll tell me all kinds of crazy stuff. What can I say? I got to get used to it. But my ego isn't attached to my opinion. My ego's not even attached to the blueprint. If this thing goes wrong, I'm going to shift gears easily because I haven't got anything to lose here. But I've got a lot to gain, and so do you. And when you have something to gain, you should put effort in. That's all I'm saying. If you want your stairway to heaven, remember, you build the stairway. Maybe it goes to heaven, maybe it doesn't. And then a year from now it falls apart because you can't pay it, because you can't maintain it, because it turns out that's not the way you have to go, and you have to go another direction. And you've thrown away 3 solid years of building and improving. I know you feel you can reach it from here. But guess what? Doesn't matter. We have to build toward it, or we'll never get back there again. If we want to all jump up in the air and grab, okay, maybe one. But the downside of that, it's too far down. Okay? Okay, I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap it up. Now think about that. Do not create something in your head that's so great that it starts to destroy you, okay, just by thinking about it. Remember, this is bigger than you. And I'm going to have a lot more songs. I got a couple cooking right now, so We talk about Kyle Dubas. That guy is you want to talk about general talent at that draft? Kyle Dubas is the only person at that draft we know for sure is operating at a generational level. He's the Big Bang Theory's general manager. And you can make fun of him if you want, but when people know what they're doing, it's bloody obvious. And he's known every place he's ever gone. He's won. And every place he's ever gone, he didn't care less what you all think. So let's just see, you know? All right, guys. It was, my life is getting weird here.
Sure.
Well, it is. It's getting really weird.
Sure.
What?
Weirder.
Weirder. Yeah. I guess it was always weird. Leave it to Mary to remind me that life was weird yesterday. No. My husband got a job in Minnesota, and he's going to be moving there. And so we may or may not be coming out on schedule, but you will get continuous shows. I will always come back and do this. No matter how frustrated I get, because this morning I'm on Facebook reading what you're saying about Tavares, and everybody's saying you're not a hockey expert, Dawn. Okay, well, if I'm not a hockey expert, I'd like to know what you have to be to become one, okay? Because that's all I ever think about, all right? Since it's like 15 years old, it's been my passion. So, really, seriously, read, study, examine, see patterns, and base everything in my life on a hockey metaphor. Hey, yeah. I don't need you to think I'm an expert. I know what I am. Remember who you are, people. Remember who we are. Remember the logo on the front. And I'll be back. I promise.